Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com, and in today's video, we're going to talk about what you could do if your account gets frozen. And what I want to do is right off the bat is share an email that was sent to me yesterday. Yesterday. This email was sent to me, and I want you to pay attention to what this individual is saying in this email. I'm not going to reveal their name. And if you're watching, I did call you to give you a solution. I left it on your voicemail. And if you're happening to watch this video is for you, and this video would also help other people that are in similar situations. Now, I've always stated that there are emotions, there are certain feelings, there are certain ways that everybody will react to problems that they're having with debt and money and their situation. Like if it was just about me saying ABC, A is, don't spend more than you should spend. B, get more income, and C, that will equal having a good financial foundation. Yes, that technically is true, but we don't live our lives that way as human beings. We are some of the most creative people. We could create success and we could create our own failures. And some of the times when you're heading towards failure, it doesn't look like failure. The result of what you did is failure. But something that I want you to understand is that failure is part of the process of success. What you have to do is you have to continually reevaluate the things that you've done that got you into a position of looking like failure. And you have to really back up and make changes in your life, and you can't be afraid to do it. But I know that sounds easier said than done, because when you do make those mistakes and you are suffering the repercussions of what you have gotten yourself into, then there's a lot of emotions. If you're married, there's a lot of arguing, and if you got to pay the bills, you got to go to work, got to put on a certain face for the people at work, you got to put on a certain face when you come home, got to put on a certain face for the wife and for your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend, boyfriend. You got to put on a certain face for your children, because you don't want to, have your children worried. Even though those faces that you put on, your feelings show what's really going on the inside. You can have a smile on your face and walk up to someone, and someone will say, well, what's wrong with you? And that's because you're giving out a feeling of what you're going through. And it's crazy, but let me just read this email. Then we're going to talk about what I told this individual to do to help start going down the right direction to solve this problem. So this is the email. It says, today on May 15, 2024, I noticed $2,669.17 was gone from my savings account. It took me a long time just to save that money. As a single mother, I need that to live off with my son. We are currently living with a family member and looking to get our own apartment hopefully soon. Without having this family member to help us, we would definitely be homeless. I'm trying my best not to overstay my time with this family member. Losing this money that's in holding, because they froze the account. They didn't garnish it yet, but they froze it from my savings account, will hurt our living situation. I did not get a phone call was made to me about the collector or the court orders. I know the reason behind that. Today, May 15, 2024, Chase told me the money is on hold and that I need to contact the place, and they gave the law firm who got the writ of garnishment, or which was in this case was a freeze, because there's certain things that they have to do before they can garnish the money. So let's first start with why she did not get any notice that she was being sued. The reason why, and she actually stated it up top there, that she's living with a family member, and the family member is allowing her and her son to live there. The debt collection companies or an original creditor, when they are suing you, are allowed legally are allowed to send the notice to your last known address. In most states, if they send it to the last known address and it is returned, or a process servicer goes to that last known address and you are not there anymore, they will look for a new address. But because of your situation where you're living with someone and you potentially didn't have the address updated because you're looking at doing that temporarily, they did not have another address. So what they would do next is publish it in a publication. Sometimes it's a printed publication, sometimes it's an online publication. They do what's called a public notice, and they'll put your name in there, and that's the only requirement that they have to do, and then they can move forward with the case. In most states, they will allow them to proceed that way. In some states, they will not allow them to proceed unless you are served in hand, so they're going to have to do some additional work. The debt collectors are trying to get the laws changed in those states too, so they can do it like they do in other states, where they just attempt service, publish it in a publication or online, and then they can proceed. This individual did not state what state they live in, but I'm thinking that the state that they live in, and this is the answer to why they froze it and did not get to garnish the money, is that if you live in a state that will allow them to, that has some rules or a little bit of strictness on proving that the individual was served, then what they'll do is they'll freeze the account, because they know that once they locate that account and freeze it, that's going to get the attention of the individual, and then you're going to know. And then, like they told her to do, is they said, call the law firm. And when you call the law firm, what they're going to do is they're going to say, you have this judgment against you, and we can take the money out of your account because we have your attention now. We have a freeze on the money, and because they have a freeze on the money, they're allowed to, that's going to, that person is going to be more willing to talk and to say, hey, okay, let's try to work something out. Now, here is that's the first thing you need to do, is you need to go ahead and call them up and get some type of resolution, to where maybe you tell them that you don't have a home. Like, you got to tell them the whole story, and then try to work out some sort of deal. Maybe the amount of money is not the total amount of money that's in your account, and you're going to be able to negotiate a settlement on the balance. So maybe it's $1,000 and you have enough in your account to settle on that, and maybe you tell them, and not maybe, you tell them your story, tell them your situation, and because debt collection companies are required to listen to your hardship, and they could reduce that amount due to your hardship situation. They've done the work and gotten an attorney and got the judgment, so it's not going to be one of these type of hardship situations where they're going to just say you're not going to pay anything, because they've paid money to even get to this point. Now, another option that you can do, and you need to call them directly. If this happens to you, to anyone, If this happens to you and your bank gives you the document of who did it, you need to call them directly and start looking at the options to work stuff out. Now, on the other side of it, the other side is that you need to go to your court clerk, because this is all handled within the courts. Go to your court clerk and ask for the documents that you need to either get it released, to have a day in court to have a hearing, get a copy of the summons so you can see what's going on, because they got a default judgment. You could potentially have that judgment set aside. There's a whole bunch of different options. And you can, if you need our help to see your options, because like what I talked about earlier is that people are very emotional, and you can understand even with this situation with this young lady is that, you know, you're trying to get a place for you and your child, and then something like this happens. So we got, number one lesson, we got to be very proactive with all of this stuff. Got to be very, very proactive, because this type of stuff can happen. So you go to the courthouse, you could either have the judgment set aside and potentially get have the funds released, maybe, or a portion released, because you are allowed to have money where they have to leave you money to take care of your household expenses. And in this case where it's just frozen, you have a very good chance at doing that. So because it was a default judgment, your court is allowing you the opportunity to have a hearing, to come into court. The money has not been taken, so it won't have to be put back in, but something's going to have to be arranged on the resolution for it. That's where you're at right now. So if you get ahead of it, or anyone that's listening to me that's in this type of situation, that's how you get ahead of it. Now, if you're afraid to talk to them, and I don't want to, no comments about people who say, why are you afraid? Everybody has their own reasons on why they might be afraid to even talk to them. That everybody has their own reason. Just like you have your own reasons for not being fearful, other people have their own reasons for being fearful. So if you are not of the mindset and you just don't feel that you're up to doing it, you can contact us and we can help you with this. Some of the stuff we don't even charge people to do with giving the information. If you need a more detailed, where you have this, where you need to have, where you're going to know what's going to happen, some certainty, different avenues of what could potentially happen, then you can get a consultation with us, and we can, for 1 hour, we have a consultation fee for that, but you will have certainty, and certainty from people who have experience. It's another thing about someone making videos and they're just telling you to do stuff, guessing on stuff. No, we have experience. You can go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com, and see that we have experience with dealing with helping people through these court situations. And we talk to these attorneys. We talk to these debt collectors. And we push for the person's side. All we ask, though, well, not all we ask, but part of the thing that we do, part of the of what we request of you is that you got to be 100% honest with us, 100% honest, because we don't want to get into a situation with a lawyer or a debt collector and they say that there's another side of the story that you don't know about. Don't do that to us. Please don't do that to us. So, situation number one, this account frozen, bank account frozen. We already know, even though the young lady said that she didn't know that this was all going on, I told you the reasons why she potentially didn't get the information, because she's living with someone, a relative right now. So documents were not sent. That address was probably not reported on the credit reports. Is not reported on any of the documents that original creditor would have had. So that's the reason on that. And then the next thing is, once they freeze the bank account, because then they're going to be like, now you know. And that's the thing, like, now you do know, so now you want to know what you can do to do something about it. And you have a whole bunch of options available to you. It just depends on how much the debt is in relation to how much money they froze. Maybe something can be worked out to where you just settle it for a lot less and you have the rest of your money. And this is for anybody, not just this individual. Or you have the judgment set aside. Contact your court clerk, see how you could have a judgment set aside, have a hearing date, and potentially win your case. Or have a hearing where they can get you a portion of your money so you don't have to worry about paying your household necessities. So before I close out the video, what I want to say is that we have to stay we have to be proactive with this. I'm going to always say that, because if we're proactive and we don't and we're not reactive, not to say that she didn't know, or if you're going through something like this that you knew what was going on, but if you do know that you're being sued, if you receive a letter, if you receive a debt collection notice, you think that it could have went away, what you should immediately do is you need to look at your court search websites where you can search your name to see if you have any cases, something that's coming up on you that you maybe don't know about. Another signal that you could be getting sued is you could be getting letters from attorneys looking to represent you in your case. That is another thing, either from bankruptcy attorneys, they go and get the information from people that are being sued in court, on the court docket, and then they try to contact them to see if they want to get represented to go in for their case or for bankruptcy. And so there are certain things that you can kind of pay attention, certain things you need to pay attention to if you get any type of debt collection letters. That's why I say you don't ignore debt collection letters. There's a lot of people that tell you to ignore that stuff, and then all of a sudden, when you get sued or they garnish your bank account, those people, they disappeared. They have no answers for you. All right, if you need help with getting, you have your account garnished, or you have a debt collector who is suing you in court, go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. In the live chat, tell us what's going on, and have a specific department that is answering those questions. It's not with the credit repair department. It's a different department. And we'll get you some answers, and then it'll be up to you on accepting those answers and those options. But we're going to get you some answers. Next thing is, if you're getting sued by a debt collector, there's a link below. We can help you. We would just need all the documents. We could do a free document review also before you decide to move forward with us. Link is below this video, and you can always go to the website again, the creditrepairshop.com. Upload your documents for review, and then we'll let you know your options on that also. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation, my two-phase settlement process. With my two-phase settlement process, let me tell you something that happened. I know I'm gonna break from my normal script on this part here. Something that happened yesterday is, by using the 8-point validation process and two-phase settlement process in combined, because there's a certain way that we do this in conjunction, and I'm going to make another video on this later. But in conjunction with the way that we sent that, we have a client who, with the back and forth with the original creditors, got letters yesterday, and I'm going to be posting those letters up. $28,000 of debt that is gone. He was in our settlement phase, and we were also it was an account. Actually, he wasn't in credit repair. He was in the settlement phase where he just wanted to get help, trying to get something, trying to move forward in his life, need to get this stuff taken care of. But we still go through a certain process, even with original creditors or with debt collectors, before any type of settlement would be, negotiations would be started. And we found out, and we got verification from the original creditor that this client is not going to have to pay $28,000 of the debt that he came to us to negotiate. $28,000. So a lot of good things can happen if you do stuff the right way, and the companies participate in that. So it's not something where it's like a some technicality to get debt removed off a credit report. It's not like that. This is something where the original creditor acknowledged the issue, and now this individual is not going to have to pay that money. If you have it, so go to the website, thecreditrepairshop.com, watch the video, What Makes Us Different. That's the way that we repair credit. And by repairing your credit, if you have good stuff on your credit that you're paying on, your scores will go up. If you don't have stuff that you're paying on, your scores could stay where they're at, and then you have to start taking some of our education on rebuilding your credit. Now, the next thing is, if you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website, your3scores.com, to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian credit reports. Everything starts there. If you don't know what's on your credit reports, that's like trying to jump in your car and you have an empty tank of gas. An empty tank with no gas. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. Information is everything when it comes to understanding what you're going through and what you have to go through to get your credit repaired. And you got to have that information on a monthly basis. You got to have it on a monthly basis, just like you got to fill up your car and so you can drive to work, drive to go do the things you want to do, drive to the gym, whatever it is. You need gas in the car, or you need a charge. If you have a EV, you need to charge it. Regardless of what it is, you need something to make that mechanism move. And to make credit repair move, the mechanism that you need is credit monitoring, because that's going to be the fuel. The fuel. Number one, with the data of what you're facing, and number two, to show how you're progressing from a verifiable third party that is getting the information. So go to the website, the number 3 scores.com. Link is below this video. If you have debt collectors coming after you, stop them early in the game. Grab my 3-pack of letters. Statute of limitations letter for debt that is past the legal statute of limitations to collect. And you can find out what's the statute of limitations by going to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. At the bottom, click the blog, search statute, and a long list of statute of limitations for debt will come up. And on the first few columns is contract, oral, and then on the fourth column is for opening accounts like credit cards, payday loans. And then there's a statute of limitations also for communications type debt like cable bills, cell phone bills, 2-year federal statute of limitations. That's why they'll sell your debt a lot quicker when it comes to cell phones and cable bills. Statute of limitations runs out very quick. But these companies will try to keep coming after you, even though they know it's past it, they just won't sue you. And they're allowed to do that. If your debt is not past legal statute of limitations, use the letters that I provide you, the cease and desist collection activities letter, which will ask the debt collector questions that they don't expect you to ask them, and the debt validation letter to go back. But pay attention to how they respond, because how they respond will give you the information on how you can come back and question what they responded to and what they didn't potentially respond to. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel, post your questions and comments, share this video, like this video, because when you like this video, you help other people. I help you. You like the video. By simply hitting the like button, you help other people. You help other people. Think about that. You are helping other people by simply liking this video. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.